Welcome to Bleach Drawing 101. I'm Dahlia Raz, and in this course, I'm going to teach you guys how to decorate your clothes using bleach. Bleach is a really fun way to decorate your clothes because it's permanent. It's not like fabric markers or fabric paint that could wash off eventually. This is forever. As long as that piece of clothing lasts, the bleach design will last, no matter how many washes you put it through. And I learned how to draw on clothes with bleach through a lot of trial and error. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way and figured out how to draw thin lines, how to draw thick lines, how to do this safely, how to not breathe in the material, what materials to use. I have wasted a lot of materials figuring out how to do this. So instead of making you guys do the same thing in order to draw on clothes, I thought, hey, I'll teach you guys literally everything I know. So in this course, I'm going to teach you guys everything that I've figured out on my own on how to draw on clothes with bleach. So if you've seen my work and thought that looks like a lot of fun, then this course is for you. So stay tuned. So I often get asked, what materials are you using in order to draw with bleach on clothes? Because liquid bleach is just going to pour all over the place. How are you doing it with so much control? So the secret is Clorox bleach pens for whites. They come out in this thick gel-like material and it's white, so you can actually see the work that you're doing even before the bleach affects the fabric. Make sure that you get the one for whites, not for colors. This is very important because the one for whites is going to leave a mark on any dark colored cotton fabric, whereas the one for colors might leave a mark, but it won't stand out the same way that the one for whites does. And your other option for materials is concentrated liquid bleach. I personally prefer the bleach pen because it gives you really nice, clear lines. But this is another option, and I'll show you guys how to use both, and you can decide what works best for you. So what I do is I put the Clorox bleach pen material into henna cones. So this is what it looks like. The henna cone has a really fine tip for doing henna designs, and it just gives you so much control and allows you to use so much detail in your work. Whereas this, the tip is pretty thick and a lot comes out. Whereas with this, a really small amount comes out, and I love doing detailed work, so it's great for that. So I'm going to show you guys how to roll your own cones using cellophane rectangles and a pin and tape. And then the Clorox bleach I use either in water brushes or I just dip regular brushes into a jar full of the bleach. So what I do is I buy party favor bags. I like to buy the iridescent ones because they're super pretty, as you can see. And then when they're filled, they have this nice pink color to them. And then I cut them in two so that you get two cellophane rectangles. You can use any cellophane. I recommend using ones that do not have patterns on them because the bleach will eat away at the patterns and it will turn the bleach the color of the patterns, as I learned the hard way. So using either iridescent or plain rectangles, that's the way you're going to want to do it. So you're going to start by putting your finger in about an inch, as you can see, and then taking the edge and rolling it around. Pretty simple. You guys probably got it. Then you're going to take a pin. I like to use a 0.3 millimeter pin because I like the really thin lines, and the 0.3 millimeter pin makes a really tiny hole. It's about as small as you can go in terms of pins, as far as I'm aware. But if you want a bigger hole, you can either still use the small pin and then cut the hole bigger, or just use a larger pin. Use a 0.4 or 0.5 millimeter pin. So once you have it rolled up, you're going to put the pin into your hole. And then you're going to put one finger inside of the cone and one at the top, and you're going to pull from either end until it's wrapped tightly. Not too tightly, but still tightly around the pin. Then you're going to take a piece of tape at the top, tape it on, and then use your finger to roll it all the way around. Now you don't need a piece of tape as big as the one I used. That's just the size of the tape that I cut, but I recommend using actually a slightly smaller piece than what I used. And then you have your little flappy thing here, so you're gonna wanna tape that down too. And then you can take your pin out, and that is how you roll a henna cone. So now that you've made your cone, we're gonna fill it up. So you're gonna take a bleach pen and you're gonna shake it up because it's sort of an uneven consistency inside when you first get it. So at first it's gonna make a little jiggly noise. Don't know if you heard that. And then once it stops making the noise, that means it's been fully shaken up. Now we're gonna start by cutting ourselves some more pieces of tape. You're gonna want 3 pieces of tape and pretty like large, medium-sized pieces of tape, I would recommend. So here we go, our tape is ready. And now here comes the fun part. We're gonna squeeze the Clorox bleach pen into the henna cone. It fits nicely in there, as you can see. So there we go. And then we are not gonna fill it up all the way because if we do, we won't be able to seal it. So we fill it up and leave about 2-3 inches of space on top. Now here comes the tape. We're gonna put 1 piece of tape around the rim here and another one on top of that piece of tape just to make sure that we have a very good seal, because if you don't have a good seal on your cones, it's going to drip all over the place and it's going to ruin your work, as I've found out from making this mistake more than once. Now what you're going to do is you're going to fold the corner like the corner of a present almost. You tuck it in there, fold the other side there, fold it in half, and then fold it over, and then put your last piece of tape on, and you're done. You have made yourself a bleach cone, and now you can go ahead and start to draw. So before you actually start drawing on clothes, I recommend filling a henna cone with lotion and practicing drawing on a dark colored piece of paper. Drawing with bleach is permanent and it's probably a bit intimidating if you haven't done it before. So it's a good idea to start out with this where it's just low stakes, it's just a piece of paper. So I'm gonna show you guys how to use the cone and then you can experiment a bit and then we'll move on to clothes. We're gonna start off by taking our nail and removing some of the edge here because the bleach starts to dry up if we leave it out long enough. And we can't put a pin in it to stop it from drying because the bleach rusts the pin. So you're just gonna wanna take the edge and remove some of that bleach and make sure you have a paper towel nearby and wipe your hand off. This is just lotion, so I'm rubbing it into my finger. Don't do that with bleach. There's 2 ways of holding the cone. You can either hold it like this, like a pencil, or hold it like this, like you're an artist holding a pencil, and then you can squeeze it more easily, but you have less control. When you do this, you have a lot of control. I like to hold one hand with the other hand so that I have even more control than before. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to fill a water brush with bleach. So this is my jar full of concentrated liquid bleach. You're gonna open up your water brush. You're gonna take a straw, dip it into the bleach, and then put your thumb on top so that the air stays there. And then go on top of your bleach, put your straw in, and then fill it up. And you can do that as many times as you need. Then you're gonna screw the top back on. And there you go, you have a brush full of bleach. And now comes the fun part. We're gonna start drawing on clothes. So I'm gonna choose, let's see, what are we gonna draw on today? I'm gonna choose this tank top, nice dark color. It's a bit thin, so it'll probably bleed a bit. We can also use this one, it's also pretty thin. So I'm gonna put everything else on the ground, on the table below me. Now you're gonna wanna find a piece of cardboard. Any piece of cardboard will do. Doesn't really matter as long as it's big enough to be put inside of the shirt. So that's where we're gonna start. We're gonna put piece of cardboard into the shirt. Otherwise, the cardboard will leak to the other side. Now, if that's a technique you want to do, that's fine. But that is not the technique I'm going for today. But if you're working with jeans, you don't need to do that. You don't need to put any cardboard into jeans. Same with leggings. But with shirts, you 99% of the time need to do it if it's a thin material like this tank top. So now that you have your shirt ready with a piece of cardboard inside, it's time to find what you want to draw. So what I like to do is go to my grocery store and just buy myself a bouquet of flowers once a week and then draw it whenever I have some time. But you can also just Google images, look up things that you want to draw, look up animals, whatever it is. Later, I'm going to show you some ways to get more ideas, but for now, we're going to start by just drawing flowers. So now it's time to put it all together. We're going to draw some flowers and we're going to try out a bunch of different materials, a bunch of different techniques, and just try it all. So we're going to start by drawing some sunflowers. Now we need to remove some bleach from the tip, then wipe your hand on a paper towel. Now we're going to try using the bleach pen itself. So there's two sides to the bleach pen. You can do nice thick lines with this side. So that's for nice, big, thick lines. I personally prefer the thinner lines that you get with the henna cone, so I don't use this most of the time, but I just want to show you guys different techniques. And then this side, which is like a little brush type thing, and then you can squeeze out and just really, you can add a nice background in, just spread out the lines. So that's one option. Now we've got our water brush full of bleach, so we can draw with that. So this is a less precise method. I don't like it as much, but I just want to show you guys all the different methods that you can use. You can also use it to spread out this bleach. And then there's your last option, which is taking this stuff, your concentrated liquid bleach, and dipping a brush in that. So that's what we're going to do for our last step. So yeah, let's just draw some flowers. Now, the disadvantage with this is it's harder to see what you're doing. And it's not as cool in my opinion. But the biggest disadvantage is just that you can't see what you're doing really until the bleach starts to interact with the shirt. But it has a nice painterly look to it, which is nice. And those are your options. Here is our finished tank top. When you first finish your design, you're gonna leave it on for between 15 and 20 minutes. You're gonna start seeing it spread, which you probably don't want, especially if you did an intricate design. So once you start seeing it spread, you're gonna take it to your sink. Ideally, not your kitchen sink. Bathroom sink is better because you don't want bleach in your kitchen sink where you also wash things that have food in them. And then you're gonna wash it with a sponge, just a regular dish sponge. Again, not one that you use for food too. And you're gonna wash it off with warm water. Then you're gonna wash it in your washing machine on cold. I don't know why I do it on cold, but I just always have, and I feel like there's a reason for it. So just trust me, do it on cold. And then put it in your dryer and take it out, and voila, you've got yourself a cool bleach shirt that you can show off. I'm gonna teach you guys how to draw on jeans. So most importantly, make sure that the jeans are at least 70% cotton. These ones are 97% cotton, because if it is less than 60-70% cotton, the bleach just won't affect the fabric. I have found this out the hard way. Like, I'll do a really nice design on something and then it just wouldn't show up, and then I'd look at the tag and it would say polyester or spandex, and I would be devastated. So I want to prevent you guys from that same devastation. You're welcome. 2 precautions you want to take: wear some sort of protective glove. So I have these latex gloves that I use when I'm dyeing my hair. Yeah, if you guys couldn't tell, I dye my hair. And then the second precaution you want to take is open a window because there's some fumes from this. It's not too bad. You don't need to wear something to protect your breathing or anything, but you do want to open a window. Just make sure you're not like, I don't know, really filling up your space with chemicals. Just not worth it. Not worth the dangers of it. So we got our gloves on. And then of course, make sure that you're wearing clothes that you don't care about too much. As you can see, my clothes already have bleach on them, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, and then have a good time. So now that you've got your pants set up on the floor, you can choose what sort of design you want to do. So got my bucket of bleach pens over here. It needs to sound like it's not just a bunch of water moving around in there. So here, listen to that. Can't hear anything, right? So it's good. But still, we want to test it out on a piece of paper. And just make sure that the consistency isn't too watery. So it's still a bit watery, but since we're not gonna do a really detailed piece, it's okay. Today we're gonna do my famous eye pans. So we're gonna start here at the top. Normally, when I first started out, I used a reference photo. I printed photos of my friend's eyes or looked at my iPad and whatever. But now I've done about 1 million pairs of eye pans, so I can draw eyes from memory. But if you're just starting out, look up pictures online of things you like. Look up pictures of flowers. Draw your friends on pans. I don't know, have a good time. That's what this is all about. There is no right and wrong when you're doing art. I'm gonna take one of my bleach cones, and if there isn't much left, we're gonna squeeze it out and then put a clip on it. And then I sign all of the pieces of clothes that I draw on. So I treat it like a work of art because it is. And that's it. Now what's gonna happen is you're gonna wait 24 hours. You're gonna let the bleach dry on it. Not even 24 hours, just wait like 12 hours. And then you're gonna put it in your washing machine on cold. And then you're gonna dry it, and then you've got your bleach pants, and your friends are gonna think you're super cool. Or they won't, but that means you need new friends if they don't think this is awesome, because it is. So yeah, come back in 12 hours, which will actually be 2 seconds because I'm good at editing videos. So I lied, you guys. It actually only took 6 hours for the bleach to take really good effect on the pants. Check it out. So here are my settings. I put it on cold. I did a mini wash because it's only one pair of pants, and I just did it for a light spin thing. And here are the finished jeans. Check them out. Isn't that cool? Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on this journey of bleach drawing. And if you choose to do it, make sure to tag me on social media because I'd love to see what you guys do. So please make sure to tag me because I really want to see what you guys do with these techniques. And I hope that we can all inspire one another. And I created a Facebook group but in this Facebook group, we can share all of the cool stuff that we do. So make sure to join and share all of the cool bleach art that you make so that we can all inspire one another and have this community around bleach art, because I think that we're just at the start of bleach art. What you're seeing now is just the beginning. So you guys are the continuation. So make cool stuff, tag me, and I'm gonna make more videos about bleach art for you guys. So until next time.